Today, please welcome Toastmaster Morris McDick.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's jump off with ocean or lake? Carson Shaver.
My kids were both raised in Christmas, where we have the St. John's River, which is basically a moving lake. But I had them grow up on the ocean. My daughter loves the ocean, and the beaches are natural environment. Of course, she works in Lakeland, running an 8,000-acre lake-filled fishing camp for kids. So she's really desperately trying to get to the ocean. My son, on the other hand, flies a fire-starting drone. You know, prescribed burns of him with his drone dropping fire. And we, citizens of Florida, just bought like a $100,000 airboat to go out and fly his drone. You want to know what we need to do? Give the kid a drip torch, have him walk around with a drip torch. We're going to save $250,000 to taxpayers. Let's save some money.
Walking or running? Toastmaster Marnie McCree.
Good morning. Walking or running? I would definitely say I am a walker. Running hurts my knees, gives me shin splints, and I just do not like to run. It makes me sweat. Walking is great. You can go to different shops. You can go to restaurants. I just learned recently that the city of Orlando is going to spend $750 million to make our city a walking, pedestrian-friendly city, which I think is extremely plaintiff misuse of funds, but I am also big on walking to movies and with a boyfriend. Yes.
This is an easy one. Bicycle or motorcycle? Blake Smith.
Are you distinguished this? I really think that these table topics were used just like 4 weeks ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
And he still didn't answer his, ocean or lake. It's about kids, great. You know, there's plaintive tales of woe, and but we're not getting any direct answers. Like I'm not giving you one right now. Bicycle or motorcycle. The bicycles and motorcycles have got. Are you okay? Bicycles and motorcycles have got their own place. Bicycles have got great places that you can go and you want to slow down, you want to take a look and see what's going on, smell the smells, see the sights. Same with a motorcycle, but you don't see the sights as much on a motorcycle because you got to pay attention. You're going a little bit faster, but you get where you're going a lot more quickly also. So, I really don't want to decide.
Okay.
I'm going to pull a Carson. I'm just going to do that.
Oh. Snorkeling or diving? Toastmaster Tim Blaine.
Yes.
Sorry, Carson.
I defer mine to one of the new amendments.
All right. Okay.
I can't do that.
He did the toast.
He took the softball.
Toast.
You want to take it? Yeah.
Toastmaster DTM Ty Patton.
New member.
That's a new one.
Could you repeat?
Snorkeling or diving?
I still did not hear that.
Snorkeling or diving?
Snorkeling or diving?
Yes.
Well, since I am not familiar with either one of those, other than diving into a subject and getting deeply entrenched into it, I would have to say that diving. How many of us do not enjoy diving into a subject which piques our interest. When we come here to share what we've heard, what we know, what we've experienced, we want to dive in so that we can express it very well, very thoroughly. As the four speakers are going to do this morning, they're going to come up here and they're going to enlighten all of us because they have delved into, they have been diving into that subject, in some cases, almost their entire life. So yes, I would have to say, without a doubt, diving is so much better for me than
Paddleboard or surfboard? Toastmaster Chris Ackman.
Yes.
Paddleboard or surfboard? Well, it's plaintive when you fall off a surfboard over and over and over.
Misuse of the word.
That was my experience in my one day attempting to ride a surfboard in Australia with the surf club. It was a great experience, but paddleboarding, you don't have to fall off. The goal is not to fall off. You get to relax. You get to go out and reconnect with nature or rest your mind. I used to work at a summer camp, and that was the thing. Get away from camp, get away from the kids, get away from the stress and the exhaustion. Have something that floats, go out on the lake. I knew somebody who would get in the canoe, push the canoe out, get in the canoe, push themselves out in the middle of the lake, and just lay down. And hours later, people would wonder, why is there a canoe floating around? Like, it's because you can relax, you can be on the water. So, certainly a paddleboard.
Hiking or rock climbing? Toastmaster Ryan Thomas.
Good morning, Toastmasters. I've gone rock climbing maybe once in my life, and it was at the UCF gym. They have a rock climbing wall. And there's a powder that they like to put on your hands that's, I guess, supposed to help you grip. But I kept on slipping off the wall. I'm going to have to go with hiking. Last Christmas in New York, we were hiking on a mountain, and it was starting to snow a little bit. I've lived in Florida most of my life, and I've never really seen snow. I'm walking up this mountain, and the cold air is in my throat. It's very cold out there. I can't breathe. And we're going higher up this mountain, and the air's getting thinner as well. So the little Florida boy is like, guys, I gotta get off this mountain. So we go right back down the mountain, get back to the car, and we go straight home to our cold cabin where the firewood's not working. So I said, maybe I should just stay back at the mountain and gone up the cold air. Thank you.
Okay. Sailing or power boating? Toastmaster Karen Schwartz.
Good morning, Toastmasters and guests. Morning. Sailing or power boating? Sailing, I think, would be very interesting to learn all the different knots and how to work the sails and try not to be, hit off the boat by the sails. Probably happened to me with my luck. So I like power boating. Growing up, we used to go to Branson, Missouri and go to Table Rock Lake, and my dad would try and knock us off. Knock us off the inner tube. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. He was very good at it. He was very good at it. I tried to ski once. That didn't end up very well either. But riding in the little donut thing was fun, even though I probably face planted in that water. I don't know how many times, but those are the things in childhood that you remember, right? So I would think I would choose power boating. Thank you.
Horseback or hiking? Toastmaster A.D. White.
You just finished horseback. I saw her. morning, fellow Toastmasters. Hiking's great and you see a lot. However, when I was younger, I always wanted to go horseback riding, and my mom had a doctor that just was such a great guy, and he had a horseback riding accident and never came back from that, and then a Christopher Reeve story, right? So she always said no, no, no. But then I had a cousin that talked her into it, and we would just have so much fun. But on my first ride, I think I was 11 or 12, and the place we went to wasn't all that great, and my horse just like, we were just walking out, and then it got to a certain point, and it did this quick U-turn, and like galloped all the way back, and I was just hanging on for my life, literally, and I didn't know how to stop the horse. I mean, I did know, but it didn't listen to me, so my cousin thought it was kind of funny. It was a plaintive moment for me.
Okay. E-bike or pedal? Postmaster Lauren Mendel.
This is going to be embarrassing, but I'm going to tell everyone. I first off want to start off with that I'm not fainted because of the turnout of this room. The biggest that it's been since I joined a couple months ago, so my heart is racing. So e-bike or pedal? I do not know how to ride a bike. I am 23, and when I was 5 for Hanukkah, my parents bought us both bikes. I have a twin. And we have a little slope at the end of our cul-de-sac, and then there's a lake in front of you. And he was going too fast, and he saw the lake and freaked out and turned his bike and fell over. So I parked my bike at the end of our driveway, and I left it there for the trash people to go pick it up.
Okay. Hotel or tent camping? Toastmasters. Oh, you're. Let's do.
Mark?
Oh, Tim Taylor.
Oh,
Kimbo.
you said camping or hotel?
Tent or tent camping or hotel?
You know, I grew up in the Boy Scouts. Who was a Boy Scout? Or a Girl Scout? I wanted to be a Girl Scout, but they were a Boy Scout. They actually let girls in the Boy Scouts now. It's crazy. I remember the first time I went camping. My parents were, you know, they grew up in Mississippi on dirt roads. They weren't very sophisticated. And it was in the middle of the winter, and I had this summer sleeping bag that was literally, you could blow wind through it, just blowing on it. And I remember the coldest I ever was in my life. We ended up in this place, and we were all laying out, and the wind was blowing so hard across the thing that the wind was coming through the zipper on my sleeping bag, and I was literally awake all night. But you know, I could be plaintive about the fact that it was my birthday yesterday, and I will give anyone that doesn't know me $5 so they can guess my exact age. Who doesn't know me and they're willing to guess? You know me. Yes, sir.
62.
62. Oh, I'm older than that, so you don't get it. Anyway, I just turned 66 yesterday, and thank God I'm still here. Thank you.
It's much better to be under.
We got baseball or football? Toastmaster Sean Tucker.
Well, thank you, Tabletop Master. I am absolutely awful at any sport that requires hand-eye coordination. My brother, I'm the runt of the litter. There were 5 kids in my family. My brother's 6'5", completely, muscular. He was football, baseball, wrestling. He did it all, and he did it all well. So coming up as the runt, scrawny guy behind him, I chose a different path. Also because of my brother, because he chased me a lot as a young boy. I became a runner. So I ran cross country and track.
which was much better suited for me. I don't really get baseball at all. When you try to watch it, it is the slowest moving sport in the entire world. Golf, which actually moves slower, is more exciting than watching baseball. Baseball, they created the game for math nerds that want to feel like they're athletes. That's what baseball is. Football is more painful to watch. I'm going to offend every man in this room. I don't get it. It's painful to watch. You watch football on television, it is 3 minutes of commentators with 10 seconds of a crash, and then 3 minutes of commentators. What in the world are you doing? Who has the time for that?
Backpacking or four-wheeling? Toastmaster Carlos Benitez.
Hello, folks. Good morning. Buenos dias.
How you doing? Buenos dias.
What a choice today. One or the other. I prefer backpacking. 32 years in the Army.
Wow.
Pack it up, load it up, ruck up, and move out. Pack light, freeze at night. Not like the Air Force.
Four-wheel drive, baby.
I just been recently watching all these memes, and they compare the four. And they see the Marines are all rough and tough, the Army's right behind them, and they get to the Air Force. And they have these guys that are so quaint and comfortable.
Yeah.
They get hotels. They get hotels. We get to sleep in a foxhole. We have to dig it before we sleep in it. My son was in the Coast Guard, and he has a rack. They get to have the luxury of life. Thank you, folks.
Fly to a destination or drive? Toastmaster Carmelo Villardo.
Running or walking? When was the last time you skipped?
Yesterday.
Marty, I highly suggest it. Skip. No run, no walk. Not to be plaintive about the ocean or lake. My dad was a psycho, both figuratively and literally. He ruined, oh yeah, that explains it. He ruined the ocean for me when he took me to see Jaws. When did it come out, 76? Yeah. I was born in 69, you do the math. No ocean for me, right? But where attention goes, energy flows. So when I get to the ocean now, I don't think of a shark. I think of Blue Lagoon. Now, down there, baby. What are my two choices?
Flying to a destination or driving?
My wife works for American Airlines. I haven't bought a plane ticket since I met her in 1992. Flying is all the way. All the way flying, hopefully in business or in first class. There's no other way. It's anti-toxic.
Eating out. Eating out or cooking at home? Jolene.
Jolene T.
Good morning, Toastmasters. I'm gonna have to go with eating out all the way. I love trying new restaurants, and cooking is one of my least favorite things, unfortunately. I enjoy cooking with other people. I think that's more fun, but I feel like it's a little bit harder when you live alone and you're just cooking for yourself. So I would choose eating out, and I love eating at home when someone else cooks for me, or Amy's a wonderful cook and hostess, so I love going over there to eat. But if I have to cook by myself, I'm a little bit plaintive about that.
There you go.
Toastmaster, WPTM, Mark Taylor. Right line, that's better.
Cruise or staycation. Yeah, I'm a staycation kind of guy. In fact, I've never been on a cruise other than, we used to have a pontoon boat when I was in Mexico. My parents had one. One day we went out on the lake, and there were these two young ladies in the canoe paddling, and they seemed like they were getting sweaty, so we offered them a ride on the pontoon. They parked their canoe along the shore. Anyhow, we took them for a ride around the lake, probably for 30 minutes or so. And then they said, well, we better get back. So we took them back, and all of a sudden we see these two older guys on the shore, and they're kind of yelling at us. I said, well, who is that? The girl said, well, those are our fathers. Oh. So we pulled down quite a ways from the fathers because they had picked up rocks and were throwing them at us. We dropped the young ladies off and took off and had a rather plaintive trip.
Okay, timer. Did all participants qualify?
Yes.